I go to the SIP settings, and here you see a space for the DID number, and I can assign that. Just replace the extension number with the actual DID number. All right. Remember that when we receive an incoming call to the system, an incoming SIP call, first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the SIP address field to find that DID. And if we find that DID, we're going to ring the extension. Okay, if it doesn't find the DID listed anywhere in this extensions management table, then remember what happens at that point. We go to the call routing table and also search for the DID. Okay, so you can have your DID in two places, either in the extensions management or the call routing. If we look at the call routing table, you can see that I have a test DID number here. And I've got that incoming DID. You can see two entries. The first entry, we receive the DID number to the call routing table. We delete all 12 digits. In this case, we ring extension 103. But I've got this set up and configured on a schedule called company schedule. So we're only going to ring extension 103 during the day. And after hours, it's going to go to some other extension, in this case, extension 600. So when does it ring during the day? It would be based on this company schedule that we've created. You can see the company schedule. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then again from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. each day, it's going to ring to the audit attendant. After hours, it would go to the next matching entry in the list. Okay, one of the other things that that you can do is you can have this schedule. You can change the schedule. You can have that schedule assigned to a key on the phone, so that they can manually change it at the end of the day. If they leave early, they can also change that schedule from outside the office. All right. Outgoing calls we can make to SIP trunks. We can go to PRI. We can go out on FXOs, and we can also have create call routing entries to be able to go to different other offices, other locations. And again, you can define whatever the dialing plan is going to be to reach that other location. Okay, so you could put a prefix digit, say like a 2-digit prefix code to reach a certain middle school, followed by the extension number that you're going to be dialing. So that you just add an entry in here. Make a SIP call to that IP address of that office, and then you make the calls to it. All right, so I'm not going to take the time to go through all these. I will show you how you can put this. We're going to come back and revisit this here in a few minutes, but just to give you an idea on your call routing, what you can do. All right, how about your paging options? That's always important. So we got paging. I've already created a paging group, extension 150 down here at the bottom. Let's do an edit on that paging group, and you can see the settings on it. All right, if I click on the extension list of the paging group, you can specify which extensions. When you dial this extension 150, you can specify which extensions that you're going to do a page to. A page is a one-way broadcast across the speaker of those phones. All right, in this case, I'm going to page, if I dial 150, I'm going to page extension 100, 101, 103, 104. So I'm going to hear the audio come across the speaker of those phones. It'll be off hook, and they can't talk back. It's only one way. But you'll see we've also have listed in here the audio line out. Okay, that could be used for overhead paging. All right, so you can have you can page the individual classrooms. You can have as many of these paging extensions as you need. Okay, you can page different classrooms. You can page overheads. Add different extensions in there for that. All right, just a heads up, and by the end of, well, I'm thinking probably like the end of November, the next release, we're going to do some enhancements on the paging options where you can do a record and then page option. Okay, so you dial in paging extension 150. If you've got the record and page option enabled, you'll be able to record your page. At that point, you can hang up. It's not a live broadcast while you're doing the page. As soon as you hang up, that's when the page will actually be sent out to the phones or overhead paging. So that gives a couple benefits. That way you can, several people can be trying to page in a busy office. Several people need to page simultaneously. The pages will be queued up. So you can have several people recording simultaneously, and as they get done, they'll go out in the order that they were recorded. All right, and the other thing that will eliminate is the acoustical feedback. Sometimes people page and simultaneously that they're broadcasting across an overhead speaker, and it gets fed back across the page, so they get the acoustical echo. So that'll prevent that problem as well. All right, back to let's go back to, so that's what you do for paging. You can also have paging adapters where you can create a device, a SIP endpoint. All right, let's take a look at, I know we've took a quick look at configuring a couple of these devices. Let's go back and look at a couple more. So for example, let's see if we do the Fanville, for example. So I've got a Fanville beside me that we've configured. If I push the Fanville, push the button at the door station, you can hear another phone ringing. Okay, you answer it. Now you get the audio and video. And of course, it's hard for you to see. Sorry about that. But at this point, I can see the person at the other end, at the door. Okay, and if I wanted to, you can grant key access. All right. Let's take a look at the INDS 1. This is offered by Leviton. Okay, and if I push it, same thing with it. Call to another phone, and at that point you get the video, and so I can see the person, and I can grant access or not. All right, and lastly, we've got let's log back into this one. This is the 2N, the Helio IP Force. Okay, I've got a couple options here when I make an outbound call for audio. Okay, I found this, I was looking at this function last night. They've got an automation function, so if I do an edit on it, you can create different functions. For example, if I press key 1, it's going to begin a call and it's going to dial extension 100. If I press key 2, it's going to dial to extension 104. So if I press key 1, which I'll do now, all right, now it's ringing my extension 100. Answer it. I get full video. Then I can grant access. If I were to press key 2, it would dial to this other phone that I have. Beside me on my desk, I've got two phones. One is a extension 100. It's a Polycom VVX 1500. And then I've got a E-Link. It's a T49G. Both of those have video. I know you're not going to be able to see that. All right, but you get the idea. All right, so you can configure those. And then I can also call the opposite direction. So I can call, for example, I can dial 303 from my phone, and it connects directly to the door station. All right, so all those are handled. They're treated. It's just like calling another extension. Okay. How about security alerts when somebody dials 911? Okay, people need to be alerted about that phone call. Okay, how do we do that alert? How do we show people give people notification. Okay, when somebody dials 911, emergency vehicles are going to be showing up at the door within, there's a time like 7 minutes they have to show up. Emergency vehicles will be there, and they need to know obviously who it was that dialed the 911. They're going to come to the front office and say, "Where's the emergency?" And it's not good when people say, "We don't know." All right, obviously that's not a good situation. So let's see how we can handle that. All right, well, we've added, and I'm going to use an example of just an outbound call. Okay, but this could be an entry, for example, for 911. So you can add another entry. I'm not actually going to use a 911 entry here, but you can have dial the digits 911, and down at the bottom you're going to enable this call alert setting. All right, and you go to the next page. Actually, let's go back to the, I'll show you an example of where I've actually implemented it. So I've enabled the call alert on making an outbound call, dialing 10 digits. Okay, let's do an edit on this call routing entry. User picks up the phone and dials 10 digits. Again, this could be a 911 call. But at the bottom left, you see this option called Call Alert Settings. I go to the next page. This is going to be an outbound SIP call. And here's my call alert page. Okay, I can generate a system event log letting somebody know that somebody dialed this number, and it's a call alert, emergency alert. I can send an email notification. I could put an email address in here. That email address can be a distribution, so it goes to many people. If your office is configured for sending SMS text messages, I could put the mobile number in there so they could be notified via mobile. And then I can also leave a voice message, and this is what I'm going to show you this morning. So I'm going to leave a voice message on extensions 103, 104, 1, and also extension 250. Okay, so it's going to be a special voicemail that I've configured. So now if I pick up a phone, any phone, and I dial these digits, we want to be alerted about that. Okay, where's that alert going to go? It's going to go to the voicemail of those extensions. All right, if we look at interfaces, we could take this a little bit further. Let's take a look at the extensions. Sorry, extensions 250, I've got a general voicemail box, okay, and I want that to be where the alert goes. If I go to interfaces and look at my IP lines, I have a Yealink T27 configured here as well. If I go to the MPK settings, this is where programmable keys. You can assign, this is where you can assign individual keys, different functions. And one of the keys, you can do watch extensions. I've added my schedule on here for key 10, so that when I can see when that schedule is active, I can press that key, I can change the schedule. I got a call park extension. But I've also got an extension here for the shared voicemail box, extension 250. Okay, and while we're here looking at the keys, let me just point out that you can also create, so we don't have to come back to it, you can create a speed dial key. So if this is a classroom phone, you can have a key defined, and this might be defined as a security, and it's going to dial to the security desk, whatever that extension might be, say example 300. Okay, or you might dial to the, you might have another speed dial key, okay, and this is going to be the panic alert, and that would be dialing to, say, extension 500. That's going to do the panic alert, let everybody know of an urgent situation. So you can create speed dial keys on these phones. Okay, but the one we're looking at is the shared voicemail box. Okay, that's so let's take a look at that. So you configure that. The phone would need to, I've already got it signed, so we don't have to wait for the phone to reboot. So now if I pick up my a phone, any phone in the office or school, and I dial an outside number. We'll dial 972-692-1166, the Epygi phone number. All right, made an outbound call, and right away I get a new voicemail on this T27P. Okay, and on the key that I've created